Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are pushing way past the boundaries of contemporary thought and plunging into sources that are thousands of years old.
I really are.
We're tackling one of the most sacred and ancient hymns known to humanity, the Sri Rudram. You'll also sometimes hear it called Rudra Prasna.
And this is so much more than just a hymn. It's a profound philosophical document. The Sri Rudram is all about Lord Shiva in his primal manifestation Rudra.
Who is, let's be clear, fierce and terrifying.
Oh, absolutely. But at the same time, he's also the ultimate benevolent power. For context, we are looking at a text embedded deep within the Krishna Yajurveda, specifically the Taittiriya Samhita. This is bedrock stuff.
Okay, let's unpack its structure then, because the text is constructed as a two-part approach to the divine. It has two main sections. The first, and our deep dive focus today, is the Namakam.
Right, the Namakam. And it gets its name from its structure, really. It's just full of this constant, deliberate repetition of the word Namah.
Which means?
It translates simply as salutation or obeisance. So you should think of it as this exhaustive cosmic catalog where the devotee is expressing total surrender, total humility, and acknowledging Rudra's presence in literally everything.
And the second part, which kind of beautifully balances this submission, is the Chamakam.
Yes, the Chamakam comes right after, and it's marked by the phrase chame, which means and to me.
Ah, so it's a shift.
It's a huge shift.
Yeah.
After establishing the deity's omnipotence and omnipresence in the Namakam, the devotee then feels, secure enough to start requesting specific life-sustaining blessings for a balanced life, merging material needs with spiritual goals.
So our mission today is to really get the sheer scope and philosophy of the Namakam. It's structured into 11 sections, or anuvakas. And the question is, how does this ancient text guide the listener, the chanter, from a place of recognizing this terrifying, destructive deity Rudra to realizing that this same force is the omnipresent source of healing and peace? It's a complete spiritual transformation.
It's a journey of recognition and, I'd say, recontextualization, and it all starts with immense respect.
One detail that immediately caught my attention was this preparatory step that's often included. Before the text even gets to Rudra, the tradition says to invoke Ganesha first. We invoke him as Gapapati, the wisest among the wise, the most famous, and the Brahmanaspati, the elder lord of all prayers and knowledge.
And that preliminary invocation is absolutely crucial, especially when you're approaching a force as intense as Rudra. You just don't approach the ultimate cosmic energy, the one who embodies chaos, without first asking the remover of obstacles to clear your own path.
Your internal and external path.
Exactly. It shows a very practical, structured approach to devotion.
So then we jump into the first anuvaka, and the duality of Rudra is just boom, right there. The opening salutation is, oh, salutations to the Blessed One, Rudra. But then almost instantly the devotion is directed not just toward the deity, but to his instruments of destruction.
Right, so salutations are offered to both his terrifying wrath, Manyava, and his powerful arrows.
That's the core tension of the whole hymn, isn't it?
It is. The devotee acknowledges the power that can destroy, but immediately follows up with a plea for restraint. It's an active negotiation for benevolence, not just passive submission.
I love that idea, an active negotiation. So what exactly is the central request that kind of dictates the terms here?
The request is startlingly direct. It asks for a deliberate shift in the cosmic balance. The devotee pleads, "May your arrow be most auspicious, and may your bow be peaceful." They're asking Rudra to manifest in his kindest, most benevolent form, the Agora, the destroyer of sins, and to keep the destructive side sheathed.
And then there's that core line of protection.
Yes. Do not harm the world or its people, Mahashivaratri Jagat.
So if the Namakam is about finding peace, the first step is managing the terror by recognizing its source and then immediately asking for its benign side. It's like recognizing the lion but asking it to purr.
Precisely. Anuvaka 1 establishes that the sought-after form of Rudra is Vyek, the divine healer or cosmic physician. The devotee seeks protection by recognizing the blue-throated, red-hued figure, Nelagriva and Vilohita, but petitioning for the healing touch of the cosmic doctor. Yeah. It's a very sophisticated theological move.
Okay, let's move into Anuvakas 2 through 4, because this is where the sheer scope of this ancient worldview it really hits you. Rudra is not just some lord of the spiritual realm.
No, not at all.
He is grounded in Earth's messy physical reality, covering every single aspect of human life.
Absolutely. Anuvaka 2 starts listing Rudra's domains, Pataya, and it's basically the entire socioeconomic and natural infrastructure of the Vedic world. He's the Lord of the directions, the commander of armies, and he governs the life force in nature. The Lord of trees with green leaves, Harikashiva.
And animals, too.
And the Lord of animals, Pashunapataya. He's the Lord of food, Ananepataya, forests, medicinal herbs, and all the paths we walk. But then, crucially, the salutations acknowledge the human roles needed for a functioning society.
He's the foundation of society.
He is. Rudra as the Lord of carpenters and builders, Stapati, counselors, Mantran, merchants, Vachaya, and even the foot soldiers. The divine presence is acknowledged in the boardroom and the workshop equally.
So after covering all these essential, respectable parts of society, the text takes its most radical philosophical turn. This is in Anuvaka 3. And this is the moment where the text forces you, the listener, to confront this idea that the divine is truly everywhere, even in places we actively fear or reject.
This is the most famous part of the Namakam, and often the most challenging. Rudra is saluted as the Lord of Thieves.
Wait, say that again? The Lord of Thieves.
The Lord of Thieves, the Lord of Robbers, Taskaripatai, and the Lord of Deceivers and those who roam at night, Naktakuradvya.
The immediate modern reaction to that is, hold on, is this him sanctioning crime? Is it saying evil is okay? Why on earth would you salute the divine energy in a thief?
And that's the point. It is the ultimate expression of omnipresence. If Rudra is the ultimate unified reality, then nothing can exist outside of his essential nature, not even the forces that create chaos and suffering.
So it's not an endorsement.
Not at all. By saluting the divine presence in the forces of destruction, the devotee is performing a spiritual act of integration. They are acknowledging that the disruptive energy itself is ultimately under cosmic governance.
So it's almost like an ancient mechanism for integrating what we call the shadow, the unacceptable parts of reality. You place them under the divine umbrella, and in doing so, you neutralize their uncontrolled power over you.
That realization is the aha moment of the entire text.
You're asking the source of chaos to restrain the manifestation of chaos.
Exactly. It provides a means of dealing with existential fear by accepting that the power behind the fear is also the power capable of protecting you.
And Anuvaka 4 just continues this stunning social survey, making sure no one is left out.
It really does. It confirms Rudra's presence across every social class and state of being. Salutations are given to those who work with their hands: potters, blacksmiths, fowlers, hunters, nanas, and makers of weapons.
And it's not just about your job, right? It's about your state of existence itself.
It extends to the physical and existential status of humanity. They salute people in every position. Those seated and those lying down, those sleeping and those awake, those standing still and those running.
I mean, that covers everything.
And the list concludes so powerfully by saluting those of deformed shapes, Virupavya, and those of diverse forms, Vifurupavya, the great, Mahadya, and the small. The ultimate statement is that the divine energy is universally accessible, regardless of your status, your shape, or your state.
So after grounding the divine in every corner of physical reality, from the carpenter's shop to the criminal's path, the hymn takes a massive metaphysical step. How does it manage to reconcile all these contradictions into a single unified being?
That's the entire focus of Anuvaka 5 and 6. They rely heavily on duality and paradox. The text just lists these contrasting epithets, proving that Rudra embodies the entire spectrum of existence.
Very simple.
Well, he is simultaneously Bhava, the source of existence, and Rudra, the fierce one. He is Sharva, the destroyer, and Pashupati, the lord of all beings.
So creation and destruction in one. The physical descriptions follow the same contradictory pattern, too.
Correct. He is both the blue throat, Nilagriva, and the white neck, Shitikata. He is Copperden, the ascetic with matted hair, and Yuvdakasha, the one with shaven hair.
He's the small and the large.
The dwarf, or small, Hasva, and the tall or large, Bahat. He is the eldest, Jada, and the youngest, Kaniyaha.
If he is both the smallest and the largest, the eldest and the youngest, that fundamentally changes how you view his accessibility, doesn't it? It suggests he is not just some distant cosmic force, but something immediate and relatable, yet utterly vast.
That's it exactly. The paradox breaks down the boundary between accessibility and majesty. It affirms that the cosmic unity is not just one side of a coin, it is the coin. He isn't defined by either extreme, but by the embodiment of all extremes.
That recognition of total cosmic unity then flows right into Anuvaka 7, where Rudra's essence is seen in the mechanics of the natural world, specifically the water cycle and weather.
Yes, he is the total environment. He is in the flowing rivers, Nadi, and the still waters, Vaishanta. He is in the clouds, Megha, and the explosive force of lightning, Vidyut.
Both rain and drought.
He governs both the abundance of the rainy places, Vaya, and the scarcity of the non-rainy places, Oya. So the devotee is saluting the power that controls life and death on a fundamental environmental level.
And then, after establishing Rudra as the totality of chaos and order, Anuvaka 8 provides this necessary pivot. It shifts from this fear-filled acknowledgement to complete loving faith.
This is a profound shift in tone. Here, Rudra is addressed by Shiva's most auspicious and compassionate names. It transforms the fearsome deity into the ultimate source of grace. We hear Sambhu, the source of happiness.
Mayopava, the source of delight.
Right. Sakara, the beneficent one, Siva, the auspicious one, and Sivatara, the most auspicious.
So he's no longer just the commander of armies. He is the one helping the devotee through life's difficulties.
Absolutely. He is specifically invoked as the one who helps us cross over difficulties, Pratara, and the one who moves upward, Uttaran. This transition from acknowledging the destructive power to fully trusting the kindest power, that's the emotional climax that allows for the personal petitions that follow.
That makes perfect sense. And following the shift toward benevolence, Anuvaka 9 focuses on dwellings one last time, reinforcing that this auspicious form of Rudra is now everywhere.
Not just in the high places.
Right. Deserts, paths, cow pens, homes, sleeping places, caves. But the inventory culminates with the most intimate dwelling of all.
The heart. The journey moves from the terrifying external landscape to the internal sacred core of the devotee. The final salutation here is given to the one who resides in the heart, Hodayaya, signifying that the ultimate source of peace is found within.
So once that internal connection is made, the request for protection in Anuvaka 10 becomes incredibly specific, personal, and holistic. What does the devotee ask to be preserved?
They ask for the preservation of the entire life system. The plea is extremely vulnerable and protective of the community. It says, do not strike these men, do not harm these animals, and do not destroy anything of theirs.
It's very direct.
It is. And the specific list is particularly moving. It asks for the preservation of our elders, children, parents, cattle, horses, or our beloved bodies. It is a prayer for the holistic continuity of life.
And the final technique for protection is redirection, right? Anuvaka 10 and 11 ask Rudra to direct his 1,000 weapons away from them.
Yes. They ask Rudra to put his arsenal down, specifically on the highest tree, transforming those fearful instruments of war into symbols of silent peace, and directing his weapons only at those who mean us harm.
This whole movement toward absolute peace culminates with the single most famous part of the hymn, often chanted entirely on its own, the Triambakam Yajamahe, the Mahamrityunjaya mantra in Anuvaka 11. What is the distilled meaning of this core metaphysical request?
So the devotee worships the three-eyed Lord, Triambakam, the fragrant one, and the increaser of nourishment, Kudivardhanam. The profound request is for ultimate liberation, and it uses this incredibly simple and graphic agricultural analogy.
The cucumber.
The cucumber. As a cucumber is severed from its bondage, its vine. May I be freed from death, but not from immortality.
That is such a powerful image, a painless natural detachment from the cycle of mortality, but a continuation of the eternal consciousness. It feels like an effortless natural release rather than a painful struggle.
That distinction is everything. And Anuvaka 11 then brings the whole thing full circle, concluding that Rudra is in the fire, the waters, the plants, and has entered into all the worlds.
And it ends with the devotee.
It ends by making sure the devotee realizes that the very act of offering salutation, the hand used in prayer, is itself the healer of all, Vishavyojo, and the auspicious touch.
What a stunning journey. The Namakam starts by addressing fear, and it ends with the devotee realizing their own capacity for healing, empowered by the deity. It systematically finds the divine essence in the shepherd, the thief, the carpenter, and the lightning. It is a profoundly integrated view of the divine.
The immense power of this ancient deep dive lies in its realization that chaos and order, creation and destruction, they all reside within the same essential unified reality. And by recognizing and saluting the divine in all its forms, even the terrifying ones, we harmonize our relationship with the universe and thereby find the path to peace.
And that search for peace is cemented in the very end of the Sri Rudram. The hymn concludes by invoking the triple repetition of Cynthia, the word for peace.
And this triple repetition is highly intentional. It recognizes that peace is not, monolithic. It is a request for peace on three distinct critical levels.
Which are?
First, personal, adhatmika, addressing internal struggles like mental and physical health. Second, environmental, Adibhaktika, asking for peace from external disturbances like other beings or natural forces. And third, divine, Adivivika, requesting peace from cosmic or supernatural forces.
So if we synthesize everything we've unpacked about this ancient, all-encompassing prayer, we leave you with this final provocative thought for you to consider. In your daily life, which of these three layers of peace, personal, environmental, or divine, do you find the hardest to maintain? And why might that be the final focus of this powerful, thousands-year-old text?
Thank you for joining us for the deep dive.
We'll see you next time.